Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Morale Booster with John Ughulu. And today I have a very special guest with me. But before I introduce our guest, I'd like to remind you guys to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and remember to hit the like button. Remember, it's thumbs up, not thumbs down. Okay? All right. So today I have with me a very intelligent woman. She is the CEO of Shift Into Health LLC. I know she'll be in a better position to tell us who she is and what she does. So welcome to my show, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting me, John.
Awesome, my pleasure. All right, so Jennifer, my viewers would like to know who you are, what you do, because definitely they would like to learn from you. Just before I give you the stage, this is, I'm a life strategist. So this is a coaching and a mentoring platform where the viewers would have the opportunity to get firsthand information on how things are done. So welcome to the show. And Jennifer, please tell us who you are.
Well, hi, everybody. And again, John, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
So, my name is Jen Oknin, as John said, and I am a ex-corporate leader with 20 years of experience who decided to take that experience and basically create my own business. And the reason I did that is I wanted to really spend the second half of my career focusing on things that lit me up inside, really made me feel passionate, really I wanted to get up and face the day, right? And through my whole corporate career, I was known and recognized as a person who could build world-class teams. And so if there was a new initiative or a new business or a new division, then they'd say, hey, let's get Jen in on this. And so I say that so people can understand that even though maybe I don't style myself as a life coach and I don't have a certification yet, I've spent almost my whole career focused on people, helping them perform their jobs well each day. And then from a personal side, really helping them through roadblocks that they might be having, really help figure out what is going to make them happy inside and helping them do that on the professional side. So I wanted to take all that coaching experience and I wanted to apply that full time in my own business. And so now what I do at Shift Into Health is I primarily focus on nutrition, but I also like to touch on mindset. I like to touch on fitness, really looking at the whole person when they come to me and say, hey, what are your overall goals for wellness? What does that really mean for you? And what is it that, you hope to achieve by working with me? So I'm really excited. My business was established in 2016, and I'm really looking forward to the next year, 2020. I can't believe it. We're going to be in a new decade.
I'm also looking forward to that too. I just can't wait for that. That's an awesome story and a nice presentation there you gave. Yeah. The questions I've been receiving from viewers is that how can you cope with having a full-time job, for example, in corporate America, and also nurturing a business? So I see you were able to somehow manage that challenge. Can you please tell us how, if you want to advise people there who are already having that fear, can you please give some tips on how they can overcome that? Because they actually don't want to give up their jobs. I wouldn't recommend or advise anybody to give up their 9-to-5 jobs because that's what pays the bills. So can you please throw more light on that so that my viewers can actually...
Absolutely. I think, for me, the road that got me to leaving my corporate job and launching full-time was an interesting one, and it did not happen overnight. When I first got involved with the company that I partner with, which is Isagenix, company that's been involved in health and wellness for 17 years. They're in 17 companies. I came to them as a client because, having a corporate job, traveling all the time, and doing that through my 20s and 30s, I ended up really struggling with nutrition, right? Making smart choices about meals, making sure I was getting enough sleep, making sure that I was working out. And I really let myself down in those areas. And I ended up gaining like 20 pounds. And that might not seem like a lot, but I'm a very petite person. And along with those 20 pounds, it really affected my ability to be there for my team and ability to be there for my customers. So I ended up working with someone who used the Isagenix products, and I signed up on a program for myself. And I got to admit, it was a little nerve-wracking, but at that point I had tried just about everything to lose weight and to feel better, and nothing was working for me. I think women especially have that issue as they get older and they realize that their bodies have changed and how they relate and react to things that might have worked for them when they're younger. It doesn't necessarily work when you get older. So that can be very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right. So when I started with my Isagenix system, I just said, okay, I'm going to be all in, because if I don't do this, I don't know what else I'm going to do. And I was exhausted. Like I said, I wasn't sleeping. I couldn't lead my team through a process discussion, and that's a big issue for me. So what happened is, at the end of my first month, I really experienced an amazing transformation. And I had lost 16 pounds, which everybody's weight loss is different, right? Wow. Thank you. Everybody says different bodies, different ways how you're going to react to things, but I just stuck with the system. I lost 16 pounds, about 4 pounds a week. I was working out, but kind of the non-scale victories were the things that really excited me. I was awake. I was alive. I felt like all my brain fog was gone. People were walking up to me and telling me, "Jen, you're glowing. What are you doing?" And I really just felt terrific. So I did what any woman does. I immediately told my mother and my best friend. I said, "You got to try this stuff. It's like magical. It's amazing." And then I just went back to work. And so at that point, I started being really intrigued with, well, what is this company that really came out with these amazing products? Because there's so many people that are just struggling to make it through the day, right?
You're very correct.
Oh, it's terrible. To be able to give enough to your job, to be able to give enough to your family, your kids, your friends. It's just this unrelenting pressure. And so many people feel ill-equipped to deal with it.
Absolutely.
So when I started looking into the company, I was very, very impressed with the quality. I was impressed with, the background. I was impressed with just the materials, the tools, everything. I mean, one of my jobs at GE was a quality leader, so I was very intrigued by their no compromise commitment to quality and all the testing, and actually the fact that they had peer-reviewed scientific published studies to prove the effectiveness of the products. Now, I didn't need to know that because I'd used them for me and I knew they worked. But to know that they had actually putting that money and putting their reputation on the line to be able to go ahead and prove that was tremendous. Because you don't see that in an industry that's dotted with companies that are kind of, they pop up here, they pop up here. They say they have stuff in them. You look at the label and you're like, does it really? You don't know. Right. So then I started kind of creeping a little bit. And I don't know, John, if you know what I mean, creeping on social media at people who had left their businesses and were working network marketing full-time, specifically partnered with Isagenix.
Okay.
And by creeping, I mean, I would watch their stuff on social media, but I wouldn't comment and I wouldn't like. I wasn't giving any thumbs up or thumbs down, right? There was no indication I was looking.
Yeah.
So what I saw was absolutely incredible, because there were all kinds of people, all kinds of different backgrounds, and they were all kind of building their business all in different ways. Some people were doing it full-time. Some people were doing it part-time. Some people were just doing it in an hour a day, broken up into 4 15-minute increments.
Right.
And what I found fascinating by that is that really network marketing is the most equal opportunity that there is. It does not matter your education, your current income, doesn't matter if you're a guy, you're a gal, doesn't matter where you come from, doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter if you have a disability. everything is set up equally. And as long as you found your why, per Simon Sinek, right? I'm a huge fan of his. Is you find your why and you educate yourself and you're committed and you work at it, just like anything else, right? But if you do those things, you can be successful. So I started trying it because people were coming to me based on my physical transformation, going, Jen, what are you doing? You look great. You're happy again. You're smiling. You have energy. Right. And so I had no idea what I was doing, but I was just telling them, I'm like, wow, you just have to put this food in your mouth and, eat it. It's amazing. And I started making money here, there. And, hey, I was making this over 6-figure income at GE where I worked before. But all this money started just popping up here and there. And I'm like, where is this even coming from? I hadn't even really looked at the comp plan fully when I first started. So I decided to take it seriously. I decided to apply myself. And what I did is over the course of 2 years, I worked and I just kind of set up a schedule for myself. I said, okay, I'm going to do my social media in the morning. I'll maybe take a couple phone calls at lunch, maybe get on a team meeting or a team call at night, do some personal development, do some follow-ups. And I just built it slowly over time. Right. All the whole while, I have a global team at a huge, well-respected over 100-year-old company. Okay. But it was possible because I set up a schedule, I was consistent, I made it a priority. And I also came out at my work and I told them, because every year they have a spirit and a letter compliance process. Okay. And I came out and I said, look, I talked to my boss and then I talked to my team. I said, I am experimenting with building my own business on the side around coaching and nutrition. And I have my own laptop, I have my own phone, I'm doing this all on my own time. If you see my performance start to suffer in any way, come to me immediately, I will address it. And in the meantime, how's your eating habits? Yeah. And everybody was, That's
a good one. That's right? A wonderful one. Everybody is actually interested in topics relating to health. So that's a good strategy you used.
Exactly. And pretty soon it was like blenders are going off all over the floor where I worked right at lunchtime. It was crazy. But that's really how I did it. I fell into it. I had realized that throughout my corporate career, I had really let go of my personal side, right? It's almost like if you're caught in a tidal wave or a riptide or a current, right? And that current is just pulling you along and pulling you along. And you have, you're not looking anywhere. You're just going with the current and you're doing what's put in front of you. And you don't even realize what's happening. And then one day I was out of the current, right? I washed up on the beach and I'm looking around going, wow, what happened to the rest of areas of my life? Friendships were suffering, relationships were suffering, my health clearly was suffering. But why was that? I think people too often just let things happen to them versus really stopping to consider, is this the right choice for me?
Right.
And so after 20 years, I finally had my aha moment, John, and I said, I need to stop and consider what I want to do. How do I want my next 20 years to look? And when I saw these people who were excited and they weren't all supermodels. They weren't all bikini fitness models, right? But there were people who had realized that they found a company they were passionate about partnering with. Mm-hmm. They had found products that really work for them. They're feeling better about themselves. And when you start to feel better, you start to kind of wake up and think about different things. And I think network marketing is so completely misunderstood and has such a bad rap in the industry. Or with professionals overall. And I have to stop and tell people and say, look, in the banking industry, there's good banks and there's bad banks. Right. There's good doctors, there's bad doctors, right? You don't denounce a whole industry. So for me, seeing all these different people and all these different ways to do things, it was very empowering because I'm like, I can take all these skills and all this coaching and these leadership traits that I've learned and practiced and honed over 20 years. And why can't I make that work for me in my own business? Right. But again, I had a plan and I did it part-time for over 2 years before I was ready to take the leap. So I think that's really important. You have to really decide what it is that you want to do. You have to commit to working it. You have to make it a priority. Then, you make your plan to decide, okay, am I going to exit or not?
Exactly. That's a beautiful one there. So basically, from all what you've said, the
Hmm.
most important thing is to know your why,
Absolutely.
because that is the drive. That is what would put you on your toes on a regular basis. So for those people who find it difficult to um, have a side business and also have a regular job, the main thing is for you to know your why. When you know your why, you would know how to prioritize things. So, like what she said. So, your job, you don't have to quit it when it's not time for you to quit the job, because that is what pays the bills. So,
That's so true. And
uh,
I talk to a lot of parents, and when we first talk about either starting a nutrition program or they get interested in the business side, because I have all kinds of people. And again, that's a benefit of network marketing, right? You can do it, and you can wrap that around an existing job much easier than potentially going out and starting a brick and mortar business,
okay.
right?
Right.
But what I tell parents is, because they'll come to me and they'll say, well, I can't do this. I'm so busy with my kids, or I can't do this because my kid's this. I can't do this because my kid's that. And I asked them, I said, you know what? I want you to flip the perception on that, because you need to be doing this for your kids.
Right.
You'll tell me you'll throw yourself in front of a bus for your kids. You'll die for them.
Right.
Great. But will you live for them? Right? Will you get healthy? Will you make sure that you're here to see your grandchildren? Will you make sure that you have enough time for them? Will you make sure that you feel healthy enough that you can go for a walk with them, play with them, do these things? What will you do for your children?
Right.
Make them the reason, not the excuse.
That's correct. Because health is something you have to take good care of. You have to look after your health. You have to, because when you're healthy, then every other thing can be done.
Exactly.
Yeah. So these children need the parents to be very healthy. So were you into sales prior to getting into the network marketing industry? Were you into any form of sales?
The only sales experience that I actually had was I was working for a credit card company pretty much right out of school.
Okay.
And I was one of those people that, you go to the football game and you want the free t-shirt, so you sign up for the credit card
Right.
and then you forget all about it. So I was that annoying person that would call you 3 weeks later and say, Mrs. Smith, congratulations. You've got your card. Let me talk to you about it. But and I'd then solicit you to balance transfer your amounts from one credit card to another. And I was actually very, very good at it, but it was terrifying to me. Nobody wants that phone call during dinner, right?
Right. You're very correct. So, which means you never had problems with rejection.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I think everybody can have problems with rejection. What I think I've learned is that truly my job is to make this information available to people. It's all about education. And when you educate someone and you take the time to understand their concerns, and then you see, I have something that you might want to look at. Would you be open to having a conversation about it?
Right.
And they have the conversation, and they're either going to say yes, or they're going to say no, or they're going to say no right now. Well, most of the time, if it's no, it's a no right now. Right. Because our subconscious mind protects us from anything new. Right? It's like that, what was that, a Disney Pixar movie, right? Where you get the 4 characters rocking around in the brain, right? And the guy who's just so freaked out all the time.
Right.
So our subconscious mind doesn't want us to say yes to anything right away. Oh my gosh, it's too scary. No. But then they see it again and they might think about it and they might get excited about it. No, still too risky. So it can take several different exposures. And that could be a conversation, that could be seeing a post, reading an article, seeing a text follow-up, before the mind is ready for somebody to say yes.
Right.
It's a very unusual person who at the first, time exposure is ready to say go.
Right.
So if you remember that, and you remember it's not personal, and you truly have someone's best interest at heart, and then you realize that following up with someone who you've talked to is truly an act of love. right? Because you're telling that person that they're important enough for you to follow up with them, especially if you said you would. I mean, how many times have you had a conversation with someone and you say no, and then you never hear from them again, right? But if you have someone that kind of keeps coming back with you, maybe giving you tips on something, maybe checking in, you might not respond to them, 5, 7, 8 times, but that ninth time, like, oh my, it's the perfect time.
That's correct.
They're ready. It's not the fear guy that's talking to them inside their head anymore. So if you remember that and you truly are following up with someone's best interest in heart, then rejection isn't scary.
That's true. Well, for those of us who are already used to sales,
Yes.
rejection is nothing. But for that mother, that mom, that dad who would like to go into network marketing, do you have any program? Do you have any coaching programs that you offer, where they could reach out to you and, do you have any paid subscription or mentorship program?
Well, here's the great thing. If to work with me in terms of network marketing, and the first thing that you want to consider is, and I learned this from the great Eric Worre. Eric Worre, GoPro, he has made network marketing a profession, right? Everybody knows him.
Right.
So you have to, number one, you have to like the products. So I tell people, if you want to do network marketing, then you first have to purchase a system just to see if you like it, because you're never going to want to talk to somebody about something if you don't like it.
Right.
So purchase it first. And when and I help them, go through several different things to see what's going to be the best option for them. Right. And it could be health goal, performance goal, whatever it is, you got to try these. And then as they try the products, I coach them like I would coach any other new person coming in.
Right.
And then at the same time, we had business coaching on top of that. And I work with them to say, okay, we have the nutrition discussion and then we have the business discussion. And it's really a kind of an exploratory interview to say, what are you really looking for? Right. And what is important to you? And how, let's be frank, how much money per month do you need to make this worth your time so that you would commit? Because it's an investment in my time. It's an investment in your time. And we're going to do business together. So once we kind of figure that out, I help design a schedule and a list of activities and coaching that says, here's what you need to do.
Okay.
But that's all included when somebody buys a system. And then still at the end of the day, again, this is such a risk-free way to start a business. You have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So literally, you could start a business for as little as, it takes, let's just be honest. I run my business, my overhead is food that I purchase every month for myself, my college-age student kids, and my husband to eat. So for about 150, 160 bucks a month, that's grocery money, really, that we're eating. I run my business. So somebody could set up an account, start working with me, have 30 days to try it out, and then just at least make a decision to say, yes, I want to go forward, or no, I don't.
Right.
But then they're not out anything. And then maybe they want to continue forward, but maybe they just want to do the products and they want to push off the business discussion to a little bit later. Fine. Here's your wholesale account. It's easy. You have an app, you have a website. I mean, I have a whole coaching toolkit.
Right.
Of all these different tools that, depending on the person's individual situation, we can set up a custom coaching program based on nutrition needs or business needs. So it makes it really, really simple.
Right. That's awesome. So can you please tell the viewers what kind of products you deal with, so that
Sure.
those people who are interested can actually reach out to you? Just let us know the products. Then you can give us your contact. Just mention your contact,
Sure.
maybe your email and your phone number, so they can take note of that and reach you directly.
Well, I think I'll talk about products, but first, I guess, let me talk about solutions, right? Because you heard what I was struggling with. So most people will come to me either because they want to lose some weight, right? And that can be gaining muscle tone, slimming down. They need easy, simple meal solutions that are nutritious, but can work for them in a busy day. So daily meals. They can come to me if they're lacking in energy. They can come to me if they have problems sleeping. I work with athletes, right? So professional athletes, college athletes, armchair athletes, right? But people who are working out and they want to get more out of their gym time, more out of their runs.
Right.
Or people will come to me just because, they're getting older and they want to age in a more healthy manner. And that way they can be as active as long as they can. They don't want to sit in a wheelchair. They want to maintain muscle density. They want to maintain bone density. So they come to me and we talk. And then the last reason people come to me is because they see my post, they're interested in the business. Maybe they only need an extra $500 a month to help take care of a bill. Or maybe an extra $1,000 a month will completely change their financial profile because they'll be able to start contributing to their child's college fund or start contributing to their own retirement fund. Or maybe they want to go all out and say, hey, I want to have a 6-figure coaching business around nutrition.
Right.
How do we do this? So those are all the reasons that people will come to me. Make sense?
It makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. So, but from a product perspective, I share one of my favorite products. You've got this gorgeous red can here. Isn't it lovely?
It is.
This is one of our newest products. It's called BIA, and it stands for Botanical Energy and Adaptogens.
Okay,
BIA.
Okay.
And this is our answer to all those incredibly unhealthy energy drinks that are out there, because it's a huge industry. And I know you've seen the cans. It looks like you should be going to a monster truck race, right? I mean, they're crazy cans, right, and they're loaded with sugar and caffeine. And they're actually proving to be very, very dangerous, but people consume them, and college kids consume them, high school kids consume them. It's very, very dangerous. And so we wanted to come up with an answer for this. And we also wanted to come up with an answer that would appeal specifically as well to women, because no woman is going to go into a gas station and buy one of those gigantic, weirdly colored cans, right? But they need energy just as much as anybody else. So BIA it is a vegan suitable product, lightly carbonated, berry Bellini flavored, less than 1 gram of sugar.
No.
Huge. Only 10 calories. And it has raw nutrients in it. You're getting 4 servings of vegetables, 3 servings of fruits. It has 125 milligrams of green tea caffeine. And it has plant adaptogens in it. Plant adaptogens help you manage mental and physical stress. So when you put all this together in a great, beautifully simple packaged can, it's absolutely amazing because you're getting your vitamins, fruits, raw nutrients, right? It's very, very healthy. And so for anybody who feels that kind of 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon lull, and maybe they go out and they spend $5, $6, $7 on a fancy coffee that's loaded with sugar and fat and calories, right, they can have something like this instead for less than $3, and it's actually good for you. This is absolutely amazing. I love these. I was so sick 2 weeks ago. There was some rampant virus going around, and if it wasn't for my BIA and bone broth, I don't think I would have gotten through the day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So is there a telephone number where you would want to put out there for people to reach out to you?
Actually, the best way to do this is I have a new contact platform that makes it super easy to get a hold to me. You can find it on my website, which is just jenoknin.com, JENOKNIN.com. Go to the contact form, and you can immediately fill it out. I get a text message, and I can get back to you immediately.
Awesome.
I also have on there an option where I'm using a new product. I don't know if you've used it, John, but Calendly. So somebody can go in and actually see my calendar, my appointment slots, and sign up for a time. And then immediately we're connected. So those, I think, are really the best way to get a hold of me, either just to send a message or to actually book an appointment directly.
Awesome. That's a wonderful one. So for my viewers, if anyone out there is interested in, the network marketing, especially when it has to do with nutrition, Jen is your best contact.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, feel free to reach out to her, and she will be able to help you in terms of getting started, if that's what you want. So, and she made mention of having a why. So for those of you who are thinking of going into network marketing, you should have a why. Because if you do not have a flair for what you're doing, there is a possibility that you would back out at, midway. So persistence also is key. I keep telling people that you have to be persistent at what you do. There is no such thing as instant gratification that lasts long. So whatever you're doing, just have it at the back of your mind that it's a process. You have to enjoy the process. And at the end of the day, you will definitely get a result. Do not ever compare yourself as a starter to someone else's result. What you should emulate about successful people is the process. That's what you should emulate, because you cannot compare yourself because you're just starting. You can't compare yourself with the result of somebody who's already successful. That person went through a process. So if you're ready to start the process of changing your own life, the first thing is to identify and eliminate limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are beliefs that constrain us from achieving our goals. So when you identify those limiting beliefs, then the sky would be your starting point. So if you've got questions regarding Jen's product, reach out directly to her. If you feel you need some advice from me, also feel free to reach out to me. But in the meantime, she's your person. So Jen, thank you very much for joining me on the show. I'm sure they learned so much about network marketing, how you got into the business. And for those people who have jobs, trust me, you are on the right path, because that's where you would get the income to sustain yourself while you're nurturing your business. Entrepreneurship is not easy, like they say. But once you are determined to do it, then you should be able to have a mentor. That's the first step. So first of all, check out with Jenny. She can be your mentor if you're interested in that. So thank you once again for joining me on the program, Jenny. And I look forward to having you on so many other episodes. Right now, we're just getting started, and I hope you would come back when next we call upon you.
I would love that. Again, thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to your audience, and then hopefully remove some negative perceptions about network marketing as an industry. It's all about what you put into it. So I love everything that you just said and shared with the team, because I think that's so true. Find your why, be consistent, and just don't give up.
That's it. That's it. All right. Thank you very much, Jenny, for joining me.
Thank you, John.
You're welcome.